unbothered, unleashed, and totally unscripted. It's Beyond the Roar with football head coach Eddie George.
Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Roar. I'm Eddie George, and I'm here with the living legend, Coach Cheeseborough. How you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Good. You look well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well, I've known you for a very long time. I used to come over here. Full circle. I was training down at the track, working out, getting ready to Four Seasons, and I would see you working out with your players or your athletes, running 400s, 800s.
Remember that? Huh?
Oh God, yeah, it was hot out there. I couldn't. So you're a product of Tennessee State. You were in the Olympics. You're an Olympian. What are some of your fondest memories at TSU as a student?
As a student, I can remember just the good old days where, all athletics was as one. It seems like as we grow, it seems separate, but just the oneness. I think we're missing that right now. And to bring that back, that's going to make everybody be on one accord.
When you say oneness, describe that for me.
Well,
in terms of the way it was then versus now.
Well, what I saw, but now as a coach, it's not like that. And looking through the eyes of an athlete, it looks like it's one. But, Coach Temple made it easy for us. The travel, we felt like it was fair. I remember we were flying as a Tiger Bell to California to run a meet, or Canada. We would go to Canada twice a year and run track meets. But after we got in a conference, it made it different because we was independent during that time. So it makes it different. I know that the dynamics change when things change. So that is a missing part of, that oneness. And football team was doing well. So we didn't have, I don't remember women's softball. I remember baseball.
But it seemed like every sport was excelling.
Yes.
At one particular time. Yeah. So being here at Tennessee State, you were coached under Coach Ed Temple.
Yes.
What are some of first of all, did you think you would ever be a coach when you were running track as a student athlete?
No. I didn't think about it, but once I graduated, I went right into coaching after running track. I went back to help my high school coach, and then from there, an assistant high school coach. Then I got my own head coach job, and then and that was only 1 year. Coach Temple called me in 1994 and asked me to apply for the job, and I was like, I'm not going back to Nashville. Why is he calling me?
Where were you at?
I was in Jacksonville.
In Jacksonville, okay.
And I was like, no, I'm not going to apply. So the next phone call I got was Wilma and Coach Temple. Wow. Right. It was big, heavy hitters, right?
It's a tough sell, right? Yeah.
And so Wilma, convinced me to go ahead and apply for the job. And she felt like Coach Temple felt that, I would be the one that could take over the job after he retired. And I applied for the job. And at the time, it was 44 applicants that applied. And it went down to 11, from 11 to 4. And 27 years later, I'm still here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Were you at all intimidated by the opportunity? Were you excited? Did you feel what was going through, I guess, your mind and your feelings when you applied in the whole process of, filling the shoes of Ed Temple?
At first I was intimidated, but then honored because Coach Temple, he could have, come after a lot of other coaches, but just honored that he even asked me to do it. But when I did take the job, there were two things that I asked the Lord, not to allow me to chase the dollar and to let me fill my own shoes.
And what are some of the core values that I guess you brought to this TSU program since you've taken over that Ed may have imparted onto you, or something new that you brought to the table?
Well, I think that some traditions I kept from Coach Temple, making sure that if they stayed in my program, they will graduate. And he was big on graduation. Some things that I'm proud of that I brought to the program, that when a student athlete come in my program, they have to do a book report on a living Tiger Bell or a flying tiger, to let them know you're not just stepping into a program, but this is a legacy, and this is an honor to be here.
Wow.
So they have to do a book report and turn it in or read it to the team, and just to know that
awesome.
they interview them and do a 2-page book report.
I may have to do that
You
for my
could
players.
do that. Yeah, absolutely, because these players, they're young and they think that it started with them.
No question.
And it hasn't.
No question.
So it's a legacy here, and you need to know the history.
No doubt, and that's something that coming into the situation that I wanted the players to understand that one of our core pillars is tradition, education, entrepreneurship, and performance. And tradition is understanding that, hey, when you put on this uniform, it means something. It's not just a uniform, a decal on the side of your helmet with no history.
Right.
They won several black national championships. John Merritt is a black Hall of Fame coach. The Black College Football Hall of Fame.
Right.
Excuse me, I'm getting my words twisted up. But it's so much rich history here, and it's so important that they understand that you're standing on the shoulders of these giants.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that being said, what is your current coaching philosophy, and how has it changed over the years?
You know what? I try to remain the same, and one thing I can just let me go back to when I started winning. I thought about what I was doing. You know how you try to use all this new technology and this, that, and I just went back to the basics. And that's my philosophy. Just do the basics, because that's going to take you farther if you have the basics. Mm-hmm. And that's when championships started happening for me. You tried all this new stuff, and people put this. And when I realized it's nothing new under the sun, all of that is the same thing. It just has a new name. Coach Temple has been teaching sports history since day one here at Tennessee State University. And now he probably wasn't getting paid like these new people are, but he's been teaching that. And that's, I just went back to the basics, the things that I remember Coach Temple doing with me in track and field.
Give me an example of that. Like when you say back to the basics, were you doing something like with, I don't know, like this new apparatus in terms of tracking how many steps your athletes are doing,
all.
And then said, hey, let's just run good old-fashioned 800s.
We going to the basics. Like right now, we're in preseason, and I know a lot of coaches don't even do this anymore. But when I was running with Coach Temple, we did a mile time trial, a 8, a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1. And you did not pass until you made the standard. Then you went to the next. So we're doing that now in our fall training. And then after they finish that, then they can go with their event coaches.
Oh, wow. So that's the you got to pass those times.
Yes, you have to pass those times. But when I did it, we had 5-pound weight Converses on. I don't know where he got them from, but they were 5-pound weights built in the sole of the shoe.
And you had to do it with that. But it made you who you were.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Golly. I mean.
And they did it before me. And so, when I came along, we had to do it.
And there's something about that builds some toughness and, the fact that there are challenges with our facilities and so forth that you've got to be creative
absolutely.
with saying, hey, sometimes less is more. And you've got to go and grind.
Don't say I'm not agreeing on that one.
less can be more in terms of that, but yeah.
I mean, you have to be creative at this time. I know we're in our condition of our track is not up to par, and it hurts in recruiting.
Oh,
so that's a part. People are not coming to a university because it's history anymore. Right. They don't even know who Wilma Rudolph is. Yeah. And it's sad, but, it's true. So, when a 18-year-old come to your campus, they want to see what it looks like. They're looking at, they got this, they got that. They're not looking at Wilma Rudolph ran here and 40 other Tiger Bells came through here with, Olympic status and Olympic gold medals. So we got to come up. We got to bring it up. We got to come up.
I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah. I mean, the business that we're in, and I'm learning that we are in recruiting and retention.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's the number one thing in terms of who you're bringing in, and what are you bringing them to. And that being said, what are you looking for in various recruits beyond the performance aspects?
We also look for students that's going to be able to graduate. You know, we just don't want a 5-star athlete that's going to be eligible for one semester. That's going to hurt your APR. So we definitely got to have a balance. And I've seen that we brought in recruits that were on a low scale but graduated and doing really well. So if given time and resources and effort, you know, you can be successful. Whether you came in with a 2.0, but I think that's too low.
Yeah.
But you got to get in with a 2.5. But,
yep.
you know, circumstances, you can get them in. But with that, getting them in, we got to see them through. If we recruit them, we got to see them through, you know, regardless of what the situation was. So I know sometimes you bring in a kid and it just don't work out, you know. I mean, that's life, but sometimes you got to see them through, and then sometimes you got to let them go, you know. So that's,
you know, I was just thinking, you know, as me, this being my first head coaching job or first coaching experience, what advice can you give me, especially in the first year of creating culture and reestablishing identity, culture?
First thing, you want a paper trail, because you're going to have to get rid of some of the kids that are not yours, and you got to have documentation. So when you're doing that, you know, it won't be, oh, he just got rid of me because this, that, and the other.
Right.
No, you didn't show up here. You didn't do this. This is a job, and that's what they don't understand. This is a job. They pay me to get you right, and I'm paying you to do right. So that's the paper trail you got to do. And you just got to believe in what you know. I wouldn't go and try to be no one else. Be Eddie. And that's what you got to do. You can't worry about, and oh God, your job is really hard because you have the shade tree people that been in over on the sideline and want to coach and probably had never played football before. You know, but that's in
they
all
have all
sports.
the answers, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Put him in. You know, that type of thing. But you got to be true to you. And I tell my kids, and when I'm recruiting, I tell my kids and I tell my parents, I'm tough, but I'm fair.
Yes, hard but fair.
And that's it. I want them to know I'm going to be tough on your kids at 3 o'clock. And I'm going to love on your kids at 5. I love to laugh. I love to joke. And I joke with my kids. But at 3 o'clock, don't come with me joking. It's time to work out.
Yes.
So
I've seen it in action.
That right there, I'm tough, but I'm fair. So
I'm taking that to heart.
Yeah, definitely. I think that keep you out of trouble, or you know, people always want to be the favorite or whatever. You can have favorites.
What I'm
don't
learning
have to know it.
Yeah, and what I'm learning is, hey, you know what? It's not a position to be popular.
No,
it's not a position where everyone's going to like you. In fact, they're going to hate you. And maybe that's okay. I mean, and I'm cool with that. I mean, I have my sons. They hate me for a lot of different reasons. I mean, it's the same thing. You know, they can't always get what they want. They've got to go through a process. They got to learn the hard way. And it's that tough love. If you didn't love them, you wouldn't be tough on them. Absolutely. You know, what are, I guess, some of the off-season expectations for your athletes when they're not under your watch? What do you expect your student athletes to do?
Well, with the pandemic coming in on last year, I think we did a lot of Zoom meetings, maybe once a month, just to check in with them. And you hope that they go home and train, but you know how that goes. They don't. They come back out of shape, and that's the scary part that I'm going to be afraid when we leave in July. I mean, I'm sorry, not July. When we leave in November after finals, I won't see my kids until January 5th. Wow. So how many people are going to be really working out? You know what I'm saying? They're in good shape right now.
Yeah, holidays.
I can't afford to keep them here and feed them and house them.
And the discipline of saying, hey, I got to get up and get this workout in. You know, you almost got to count. You got to start from ground zero.
Absolutely.
Again. Yes. I definitely see that. And for me, this will be my first off season. So I came in the spring, and just getting to know these kids, what they do best, what their temperament is, and in fact, do they even love the game of football?
Right.
And I'm finding a lot about that now, and that's okay. I believe a team is built in the winter. You know, you never see what's that name of that show? Winter is coming. They always say that the Game of Thrones. Thank you. Yeah, the Game of Thrones. Winter is coming, and that's where you build toughness. That's where your identity is created. All that. So that off season is so important. There is no such thing as off season.
No, not at all.
There is no off season.
No,
in fact,
you got to keep training.
Yeah. The off season is the in season.
Exactly.
Because it makes your season easier.
Yes.
You know, that's what I've always believed in. And it's amazing now to see the type of athletes that are coming in, how things have changed over the years.
Oh, yeah.
You can't quite do certain things, like push them to a certain point or discipline them a certain way. You have to be creative in that. So how do you discipline your student athletes given those parameters?
We have a thing called Muscle Beach.
Uh-oh. That right there says it all.
Yes. So we, you know, if they're not doing what they need to do, like today, when I go back, if they have not turned in some forms that we're looking for, they're going to have Muscle Beach. So I already asked my coach, whoever have not turned those forms in at 3 o'clock, they will be pushing the sled around the track, and it's not easy with a 45-pound weight on it, and it's grueling, and it's going to be 85 degrees.
I love it. I love it,
yeah,
Cheese.
so,
I love it.
I mean, but, you know, you can take money from the kids. They don't see it right away.
Right.
That's going to happen next year when you deduct their scholarships. But sometimes you have to do something right now.
Yes.
Right now, 2 to 5 minutes, right now.
Right.
You know, let's get it done. And they don't like that. So we do Muscle Beach.
Pain is no joke.
We do Muscle Beach. So, and some of them come back a couple of times. You know, hard head, you just got to keep bumping that head.
Yep.
And then some just do that one time and they done.
And it's done.
Yeah. You know how you have two kids.
Oh, I know.
One kid is a good kid and the other one don't believe that fat meat is greasy.
right.
You
and they learn
show.
quick. They learn quick.
Yes.
They go through that, and then if you don't want to be here, you got options.
Yeah.
That's it. So what do you do for team building activities?
It's hard. You know, through the years, we used to do a lot. My mom does a lot of cooking. And so, Mom.
Then he never told you.
I know.
Come on now, Cheese. You known me for years, and you can't bring. What's your favorite meal? What is your mom?
Oh, my mom can cook anything. My mom cook. Yeah.
What's your personal favorite?
Anything. I'm a seafood lover, and I do that. So I do crab legs and blue crabs, and I'm just I could do all the seafood. Yeah, I mean we just cook, and so my thing is if a kid go to church with me on Sunday, I'll take them home and they can come and eat.
Really, that's a team. I love that activity. So they'll come with you to church, get some good word, the spiritual food, and get fed. That's awesome. Yeah. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a little halftime break.
Okay.
And within that, I'm going to ask you a question, a fun fact, and see if you get the answer.
Sure.
And this is the Tiger Bell question. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Which former TSU Tiger Bell was the 1971 Pan American Games champion?
71, Iris Davis.
Yes. Oh, yeah, you got it. Iris Laverne Davis Hicks. Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to her funeral. She just passed.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
How old was she?
How old?
How old was she when she passed?
71.
71.
Yeah, so Friday I'm flying out to Pompano Beach and funeralizing her.
Yeah. Man, I'm sorry to hear about that. Know that that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. But, that's a great fun fact. Yeah, that's the answer. All right, let's get into some personal stuff. How do you start your day?
At 5 o'clock in the morning, I come over to TSU. And usually I stay until now that track practice has started. We do cross country in the morning because it's just really, really hot, to go out asking them to do a lot of mileage early in the morning. So we start at 6. That's the first group. And then go in and do some office work and come back out. I'm sorry, I'll come back up. Come back out at 3 o'clock and track practice start for the other half.
Mm-hmm.
So almost here all, a long time. Yeah.
5 every morning. Yeah, I'm getting up around 4:45 some morning.
Just to make it on time.
Just to make it on.
Yeah.
No doubt. Would you consider yourself an early bird or a night owl?
Both. All depends on what's going on. I could do both, but just making sure that you're here for the student athletes. So gotta get in bed early. I can remember, late night
burning the candle at both
not
ends.
anymore. So, I'm getting old.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm usually in bed by 9:30. 4:30 comes around real quick.
Yep.
Okay, what advice would you give to your younger self, knowing what you know now?
You know what? I don't know. I think I'll do it the same way. Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing.
Why?
Because it's made me the person that I am. So I wouldn't change a thing. Yeah. I think it has built character, longevity. Yeah.
What's been, I guess, your toughest moment here at Tennessee State? And how did you fight through adversity from a career standpoint?
I think when I first got here, just the naysayers of the community was tough because some people felt like Coach Temple should have passed the baton to them, and because they had volunteered in the program under him, so they felt like they were going to get the job. And just the naysayers, oh my God, it was just on and on. It was bad, and it's sad because you can win championships, but when people just heart not right, they just gonna keep talking and just, it gets on your nerve when you still win. They still have something, negative to say.
Right.
No matter what you do, it's still gonna be something negative. Somebody, it's you can't do good enough.
Right.
So, that right there just kind of.
So you just let it roll off the back of your.
You try to, but for the most part, yes. But sometimes it could get to you because you're human.
Human,
you're human.
You.
So just okay, God, I don't won 9 championships, and they still talking. Come on, what else can you do?
Hey, just put up.
Yeah.
That's all you say.
Right. Okay.
You
like.
know what? Look here. Show me your rings. Like, where are your rings?
You're right.
My thing is with naysayers, that's what they are. They talk a lot.
Yeah.
Show me,
yes.
what you've done, and then we can have a serious conversation. All right, so we're going 2-minute warning, rapid fire questions. All right, what is your favorite hobby?
Basketball.
Ooh, really?
What?
No, hey, what?
Basketball star.
Really?
All-American high school.
A point guard?
Yes.
Oh.
26 points a game, 13 rebounds. Don't get no better than that.
Wow.
Yes.
So would you have preferred to play basketball or go the route that you went in terms of track?
I wanted to do both.
Uh-huh.
So when I came to Tennessee State, the basketball coach went up to Coach Temple and asked, could I play basketball? And in Coach Temple's voice, he said, but shoot, you go get you a CHANDRA CHEESEBOROUGH like I did. End of story. Never let me play.
Never let you play?
No.
Did that break your heart?
No, it didn't. Because I knew at the time women's basketball wasn't as big.
Mm-hmm.
And track could take me all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose track.
Did you ever think about coaching basketball at some point?
No.
Wasn't that?
I just loved the game and playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, never coached.
Favorite day of the week?
Friday.
Of course. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Tea. What kind?
Yeah. It doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
No.
I'm more of a coffee guy.
Oh, I only drink coffee like if I'm traveling to keep me up with a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
So I drink sugar instead of
Instead
coffee.
of coffee. Yeah. with a dab of coffee.
Yes.
Right? Sugar with a dab of coffee. And final question, what is your favorite song?
My favorite song is "He Touched Me," so that's it's an
old religious. Okay, no, geez. I mean, listen, I didn't know. Wait, I'm like,
no, it's.
You said it like I didn't know. Was it R. Kelly's thing or
no? Trust me, it wasn't R. Kelly. No, it's called "He Touched Me." I don't know the author. It's an old spiritual song.
Old spiritual song. Okay.
Gospel. Okay, I should have put that. I would have put that spin on there. A gospel song. My favorite song is a gospel song by the name of "He Touched Me."
Oh, thank you.
I cleared that up. Let me clear that up.
All right. Well, we're going to touch up out of here.
Okay.
All right.
On that note,
we're going to touch up out of here. Thanks for joining another episode Beyond the World with me, Eddie George, and the legendary Coach Cheeseborough. Until next time, we out. Thank you.
Thank you.